Hey guys, it's Corin from iknituknot, and we have a lot to cover today. We have a little bit of a life update, and more importantly, we have a Q&A that I promised a long time ago. We're finally getting to it. You had some questions, I have some answers. So let's get started. So first, the life update. I got a day job. And of course, that day job has to do with yarn. I was hired to work at my LYS, Cream City Yarn, and I am loving it so far. I could not be having a better time. I just finished my fourth weekend working there, and I am loving it. I have exactly one brain cell with any sort of self-control in it, so I've already spent a lot of my paycheck on the yarn there, because who wouldn't? I'm surrounded by pretties all the time. I'm making plans for everything I'm gonna make. I've added to that stash so much since I've been there. It's a little out of control, but that's okay. I'm loving what I'm doing, and eventually, hopefully, I'll get another brain cell with self-control. But yeah, I love it. I love squishing the yarn as I tidy up. I love seeing people put together colors and fibers and being a small part of helping people put together projects that they love. I love listening to people learn new skills and socialize over their projects and cups of tea. It's amazing. It's all I dreamed of. And it's even more amazing because, as many of you know, I'm disabled. I have been my entire adult life. And this is the first quote unquote real job that I've had in over a decade. I was told by doctors that I would never work a real job. And so to have this job, doing something I love, something that I'm passionate about, is nothing short of a miracle. And I'm so, so grateful for it. I never knew that fulfilled was something I could feel. Go figure. A second update for you. During the month of April, I will be helping to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital by doing something I love, crocheting. They're having a crochet and fundraise challenge during the entire month of April, and I will be marathon crocheting at least 2 hours a day to help raise funds for them. They're a great cause. They help kids with life-threatening diseases and make sure that their families never receive a bill. So if that seems like the type of cause you'd like to help me support, I will leave a link to the Facebook fundraiser in the description, and together we can help them out. And lastly, over on Instagram, we just started our Recover Your Chill make-along. There's been a distinct lack of chill in all of our lives for a while now. Yeah. And I just wanted us to remember why we craft. Get back to the relaxation and the stress relief and the creating for the sake of creating that we do. So the make-along will run from March 15th to May 15th, with one lucky person a week being chosen to win a prize, as long as they use the hashtag RecoverYourChillMAL 2023 in a post over on Instagram. And we have so many wonderful prizes. Lots of them are really fibery, but you don't have to keep yourself to the fiber arts in order to participate in the make along. Any art, any craft, anything is fine as long as you're creating something. So we'll all be recovering our chill this spring, and I hope to see you there. And now what you've all been waiting for, the Q&A. You have questions. I hopefully have satisfactory answers. And I thank you all for your patience. I know you asked these questions a while back, but hopefully I will have made up for it. So, here we go. We'll start with Monica Mann, who asks, is knitting easier than crochet? Because I am about to fling this wooble into the sun. Don't fling the wooble. It's okay. So the slightly frustrating answer is, it depends. It depends on the person, on how you learn, on a number of different things. So for some people, including me, crochet is easier because there's one hook. There's fewer things to control. You only have to use your dominant hand. For some knitters, knitting is easier because there's two things. It's more symmetrical, it's more precise. It can depend on which one you learn first. I learned crochet, so I find that a little bit easier. It can depend on how you learned it. I learn better from diagrams, but you might learn better from videos or from one-on-one tutelage. What I will say is, don't pick it up while you're frustrated. Wait until you've had a chance to calm down. Come back to it when you're in a good mood. Because then you might find that you have a little bit of an epiphany. It comes to you a little bit easier and you will be off to the races. So, good luck, Monica. John Kammerer asked on Facebook, Riley, why are you so cute? Corin, same question. It's because we drink our water, mind our business, and treat others with kindness and respect. Isn't it, Riley? Yeah. The Bare Knitcessities over on Instagram wants to know my favorite hooks. Now, I swear this isn't like a sponsored video or anything, even though I talk about them enough, but my furls hooks, I love them. I love my furls. No, really. I really love my furls. I love them. They're so good. They feel so good in my hands. They're the perfect weight, the perfect shape, the perfect length. My hands don't get tired. They don't hurt when I use them for long periods of time because we all know we don't take breaks the way we should. My physical therapist hates when I come in talking about my wrists hurt, my hands hurt. Well, how long did you crochet yesterday? Like 17 hours. These don't have that problem. And they're so beautiful. Just look at these. They're so pretty. They're so pretty. I have to stop myself from buying new ones every time they come out with a new set. And they're a little pricey. A little bit, but it's worth it. It's worth investing in my craft so that I have a pleasant experience every time I craft. So that's it. My Furls Fiber Arts hooks. Go check them out. Jenny Peaceful asks, what project or yarn would I never do again? Okay, so I'm not really in the business of bad-mouthing individual patterns, so I'm not going to do that here. So instead, I will badmouth an entire class of patterns. Socks, not for me. Never going to do a sock. Not gonna happen. I don't want to spend so much time on a fiddly little project and then have someone walk in it. And then they fall apart, and then I have to either darn it or throw it away. Not gonna happen. Not gonna work. Sorry, no socks. The other thing, no undergarments. No, 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 no. Especially not bralettes, only because the girls are too big. The girls are too big, and I don't trust any of these bralette patterns, as beautiful as they are, to hold these in place. I don't trust them. Sorry. As far as yarns go, I don't really like cotton yarns. I know they're supposed to be good for summer and they're supposed to be good for, home decor and stuff like that. I rarely like the way cotton yarns feel. And even when they do, there's other yarns that I like better. Sorry. So there's your fiber hot take of the day. So here's a question from Madman Knitting. It says, what mental health problems were you struggling with, and who or what suggested crochet and knitting? I've been dealing with depression, anxiety, and PTSD for most of my life, since I was a child. I'm also neurodivergent. I'm in occupational therapy for autism right now. I learned to crochet while I was in residential therapy for my depression and anxiety about 12 years ago now. 11, 12 years ago. And it was at the suggestion of the women that I was in treatment with. We all needed something to do with our hands while we were in group therapy, so that we weren't so laser focused on the horrible trauma we were talking about. And it went from something meant as just a fidget to something so much more meaningful for me. So I am very grateful to them for giving me that outlet. So the next question is from Aunt ABWI2. They write, what makes a project memorable for you? Does it start with the designer, sheep, yarn store? Is it something that happens in the middle? Is it wearing or gifting the final piece? And do you track all your projects somehow, or do you just let them go in the end? I am a project crafter rather than a process crafter, especially with knitting, but also with crochet too. I treasure the finished objects, and I take breaks from longer projects to get shorter, quicker, easier projects done because I need that instant gratification. I can't take too long on things without kind of going crazy. So it's always the finished project, the finished object that I really love and cherish. I love putting it on and showing it off. And the best part is wearing it or gifting it, hands down. It's also the pattern launch for the things I design. I love putting it out into the world and seeing what people think of it and seeing people making their own versions of it. I think that's even more rewarding than making my own version. So yeah, definitely all the things that come after actually making it. And I do try to track all the things I make. I think I'm a little bit behind right now, but maybe like 95% of the things I've made are up on my Ravelry page, which my personal page is Decodalia, which I will link below. You can all come and friend me. That's fine. Everyone finds me eventually. You're welcome to. Kitty BD1 asks me, how are you so awesome? Actually, my question would be, do you find yourself preferring different fibers based on whether you're knitting or crocheting? For example, do you like crocheting cotton but not so much knitting it? Well, we've already heard my opinions on cotton. Let's see. I think I prefer to knit with suri or mohair more than I like to crochet with it. Just because of the fabric it creates. Mohair and suri are supposed to be so light and fluffy and airy, and I want the fabric to mimic that. And knitted fabric is just so much lighter and thinner and airier than crochet, which can be kind of dense. I like to crochet with alpaca more than knit. And I'm not entirely sure why. I just kind of gravitate towards that. Possibly because I find it easier to read my stitches. Alpaca can be kind of fluffy and kind of hard to read the stitches, and I'm much more a crocheter than a knitter. So it can be hard for me to read my knitted stitches and any mistakes I might make. But I haven't had as much experience with that yet. So maybe I have to just grab some alpaca and start knitting it up and see what happens. Kalzuki wanted to know washable or any yarn wrecks or favorites. Oh God, I have so many favorites. The first that comes to mind is Knit Pick Swish. I used it to make the Les beanie for a friend of mine, and I'm going to make another one for myself just because it's so wonderful. It's 100% superwash merino. It comes in like 1,000 different colors, and it's next to skin soft. I was so jealous of my friend while I was making it for her. I have to have one of my own. Non-washable, I'd have to go with Le Bien-Aimé, Corin worsted, which I used, where is it? To make my second hat Dana. It's so soft. I keep like feeling it while it's on my head. Anything from Playful Day Yarns, because the colors are just perfect. That, like, if you think of me as a color palette, anything from Tara Lynn is absolutely perfect. And Juniper Moon Farm Harriet, which is an alpaca yarn, which I used on my second Oakland Avenue shawl. And it might be the softest yarn I've ever worked with. It was so delicious. I know before I said I was a project crafter instead of a process crafter. That made me a process crafter. I loved working with it. It was so good. Black Goat Fibers asks for my favorite unconventional tool. This is a copy of The Collected Poems of Emily Dickinson. I have not read them. I should. I've heard they're really good. But what I have done is made lots and lots of tassels using this book. You turn the book sideways, wrap the yarn around, do some creative tying and cutting. Perfect size tassels every time. Love using this book for it. I'll read it eventually. Apothecary Fiber Co. asks, how did I get into pattern designing? I imagine I got into it much the same way as most designers get into it. I was browsing Ravelry one day and nothing was catching my attention. Nothing was exactly what I wanted to make that day. And I decided if no one else was going to make exactly what I wanted to make, then I had to be the one to make what I wanted to make. If nothing out there was exactly right, then I had to make it exactly right. I had to make exactly what I wanted to see. And so I got out my little Stitch dictionary and I learned by looking at other people's patterns how to properly write a pattern, even though I probably made a lot of mistakes. And I made Lizzie and Layla, and it was a cute little cowl with linen stitch and baubles and lots of fringe, and I was bitten by the designing bug. It was much easier than I thought, and it was much harder than I thought at the same time. And it was so worth it. I love every minute of it, no matter how much complaining I do about it. If I ever come to you and I'm like, oh, I don't want to be a designer anymore, just remind me what I said here. It is the single best thing to ever happen to me. And lastly, a question from TL Yarn Crafts. What is one of your biggest joys and frustrations with the yarn world? This is a good one. Frustration is easy. It's the fact that even though we all share a hobby that we all love, we're all also still human with human differences. And loving fiber doesn't make people any less racist or sexist or homophobic or transphobic or whatever. And expecting people to be just like you just because they share this one hobby in common with you just is a quick road to disappointment. My biggest joy of the yarn world is that we can all come together over this love that we have of fiber. We've all found the same calm, the same happiness, the same fulfillment in creating things with yarn. We all look at a piece of string and we see potential, we see possibility. And I think that's a beautiful thing. This hobby brings us all together as a community, a very flawed community, but a community. And I've found friends that I never would have otherwise met. I found my girlfriend all because of the fiber world. I count myself so lucky to have found a community. And that's a joy that I don't know if I could have ever found anywhere else. So that's it for our Q&A. Thank you for all your questions and for waiting so long for me to answer them. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to find me on Facebook or Instagram and pester me until I answer them. I'll see you during our make-along. And until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And I love you all. Bye, loves. These are the lovely people that support me over on Patreon. They are the reason I can make videos, write patterns, and most importantly, buy yarn. If you'd like to be one of these people, there is a link in the description. And so much thanks to them.